today's video, I really want to talk to you about why numbers only matter when you have context and the true meaning of creating a compounding business. I think the biggest thing that deters absolutely ambitious rock star entrepreneurs is this idea that if they don't have 1 million people on a wait list, if they don't have everyone watching their stories, if people aren't voting on every single poll they're putting on Instagram, if people don't show up live, then they don't have a viable business. And those numbers really deflate people, and looking at just those numbers can be enough to make someone say, this isn't going to work, no one wants or needs what I have to say and offer. But we need to go a layer deeper, and this is something that I do with my clients 24/7. It's not about looking at the number without the context. What we need to remember is a few key things. So in this video, I'd like to highlight some things that I share with my clients that when they really take that on board, shift their focus, where they put their attention, and also their mindset for success. So the number one thing that I really want you to remember is you only need one person to say yes to start the compound effect. One person. And we often get to the point where we're like, right, I need 20 people in my membership, I need 10 people in my group program, I need 50 people for my course. We need to just remember that we have to focus on one person at a time. We have to focus on one person being impacted by what we have to offer and allowing that to create a ripple effect. And also, I could talk about this all day. So that's the first thing. When you then show up in your content, you show up online, you show up in your stories, you show up on lives, wherever it might be, how is one person going to be impacted by what you have to offer? One person. How can you impact one person with your content today? How can you get one person to talk to you in the DMs? How can you get one person to speak to you and comment on your post or your live or your YouTube captions, whatever it might be? One person. When you focus on one person at a time, it's so much easier to do a few things. One, build a connection. Two, know that you are serving the person that you want to serve and not end up diluting your message to try and attract everybody. And three, give you the confidence to know that you are making a difference, because you are. So that's the first thing that I really want you to remember, that when you're looking at your numbers, especially when it comes to social media and launching and selling and everything that's involved with that, really take a step back and think, okay, can I just focus on impacting one person right now? And we can take that a level further. Why your numbers need context. So if you are seeing people having incredible launches, selling out their offers, having absolutely endless success with their masterminds, their group programs, their courses, whatever it might be, do you have the context? Do you know what they've invested to get to that point? Do you know the amount of hours that they've put in to get to this point? Do you know what they've been doing behind the scenes? Do you know the amount of times they've been rejected or failed? Do you know the amount of times that they've had sleepless nights? Do you know the amount of times people have ghosted them? All of this is really important to understand, not because we all need to be sharing everything, but what we do need to do is remember that everything has a backstory. And when it comes to your business, if you are starting right now, and again, I feel like I'm talking directly to my clients now. So if you are watching this, yeah, we've had this conversation before. But when you look to sell something, what's really important is we need to be building momentum. And how do you build momentum? A lot of the time we go and we look online and people are having, 5K months, 10K months, 20K, whatever it might be, 6-figure businesses, whatever it is. But what we need to do is think, where are you and where is your audience at right now? How can you start to build momentum right now? So if you have a brand new course and you want to sell it for £1,500, let's say, you might right now sell it for £497. So that's a huge difference. But what you can do with that is you can get people in the door, you can get social proof, you can get feedback, you can build momentum. And I think there's just so much to be said for understanding that when you are looking at your business from a bigger, wider perspective, the numbers that you're seeing right now in the short term are not the only numbers we want to focus on. In fact, we don't want to focus on them hugely at all. What we do want to focus on is where these numbers lead to. If we're only focused very insular, this launch needs to make this much, how are we seeing what is outside of that? How are we seeing what we can do beyond this launch, beyond this program, beyond this course? Where's the growth mentality for you, for your business? So number one, we just need one person at a time. Please give yourself that opportunity to succeed by recognizing we are speaking to one person at a time. And I say this to my clients all the time. If they want 10 people, I'm like, okay, what are you going to do today to get one? What will you do tomorrow to get one? What will you do the next day to get one? Focus on one at a time. Focus on the very the micro goals that you can really allow yourself to get laser focused with. And it doesn't then become this huge overwhelming plan. It doesn't become this kind of almost Everest. We just focus on one person impacting one life at a time. And the second part is remembering that we need to remember there's a backstory. There is always going to be more to the story, more to the launch, more to the numbers than potentially you have access to. And therefore, do not allow that to detract you from your own efforts. Do not allow that to divert you from recognizing that what you're doing right now is amazing and the offers that you have to put out there are amazing. It doesn't matter if someone else has had a bigger or better or more firework launch. What does matter is that you are serving your audience with where you are at right now and allowing that to compound, which leads to number 3. Remember to focus on your own momentum building activities. If you are focusing too heavily on I need this much money to come in, it's going to be really difficult for you to build that momentum. But if you take one step at a time to see, okay, I really want this to become my signature program, right? I have clients that do this. I really want this to become my signature program, whether it's my group, whether it's a mastermind, whether it's a course. All right, amazing. What we need to do to make it a signature offer is to have enough people validate and make that offer credible. So to give you an example, I knew that I wanted my organic business success score to become something that everyone that finds me had access to and was at a really, really reasonable price. But in order to do that, I needed to test that out and I needed to get that social proof and I needed to have those results to know that this product, this service could help people. So I ran the program live on 2 rounds. We had about 40 people go through the program in these 2 rounds. So I ran it for the first time and it was 1-1-1-1. The second time I ran it was 2-2-2-2. For the 3 months program. Now the program is on as a self-study at 497. So not only does that allow me legally to share that this program was sold at 2222 as a 12-week program, you now have access to this at 497 because we did sell at that. It also allows me to share the social proof, for me to know that it works because I've had so much live feedback come through, and also then come to the point of selling it as a self-study. So start to think about if you want something to become your signature. I've done this with my 5K Females 3-month mastermind. I've done this with my 6 Figure Sisters 12-month mastermind. Everything I do is always about understanding if I want this to become what I'm known for, how can I make sure that I get people in? How can I make sure that I actually have people go through this process and feel served, get the results that I would love for them to get, celebrate with them and make that a process. So spend less time thinking about just the course as it stands right now or the group or the one-to-one, and think about where do you want this to go? How do we want this to become something that you're known for? How can you do that? So the numbers are, if anything, your signposts, the roadmap, but they are not the only defining factor. The real impact that you can have is based on being able to actually serve your clients and know how you're serving them, collecting your social proof, building momentum, continually showing up and showcasing these offers so it becomes a consistent theme in amongst all of your messaging, in amongst all of your marketing. So when you look at your business, and the theme for this video is understanding that there's more to the numbers, and it's not just about seeing it as a numbers game. It's more about the bigger picture, the wider perspective of how you're growing your business. But I think it's just important to touch on these key areas. So they're the first 4 key things that I really want you to be thinking about. And the final thing that I think is really, really important when it comes to understanding the growth of your business is to look at what are your own projections, because we can get very, very carried away again when we just look at numbers. When we just look at numbers, we can get carried away to say, yeah, I want to have a 7-figure business, or I want to have 1,000 people go through my program. But we don't then think about the team that we need, the outgoings, going through the VAT threshold, more expenses, what we pay ourselves, being tax efficient, looking at our pension. There's so many things. And sometimes that isn't what people want. They don't want to become a manager. They don't want to become someone that's just basically managing this big team. How do the numbers actually fit in for you? What do you actually want that to look like for you? For example, the 5K Females, my 3-month mastermind, there's always been a lot of talk about this is the program, this is the mastermind that could definitely scale, which it can. But I love that it's a maximum of 12 people per cohort. I love that I am spending these 3 months with them live, and I really like that being part of my business model. It also allows me to create something that is around 175k a year just from that 3-month mastermind-ish, give or take. I just did quick maths. But it means if I look at those numbers just for that one program, then I've got things like my one-to-one, my 6-figure sisters, I've got my events, I've got my courses. So there's so many other things that add to this income. But if I'm really happy with how I'm serving my clients, how I'm showing up for them, the results that they're getting, which are incredible, then this is when the numbers count. It's not just about constantly looking to get to this next big figure or this milestone, because that's what you're seeing without the context. So start to look for yourself. My 5th tip for you and strategy that I really want you to start looking at is making sure you know where you want your numbers to take you. How is each of your programs or services leading you to the next step? How is it creating this lifestyle for you? How is it going to feed into building a profitable business? And I like to think of it in this way. So I've had clients that I've done this with as well. But for example, my 6-figure sisters is like my salary for the year, for example. My 5k females is then all of our profit. So that then it can go towards reinvesting, looking at what we do for growth, expanding the team. Then my one-to-ones, that is then my future investment. So that goes into things like, my other businesses, looking at my pension, all of that. That's then that next level. And then the level above that, and then if we look at things like course sales or passive offers that I have, my self-study courses, all of that then goes back into things like marketing. So I'm very good at understanding how each of my programs and each of my offers creates a bigger meaning in the business and for my life. And that is why looking at the numbers alone is not the way forward. You want to be looking at the numbers from a standpoint of what it means for you in your life, what it means for your business, how it's going to help you move things forward, and how it's going to help you serve in a way that allows you to have this level of freedom as well, and simplicity, which I love. So this video has probably been the ramblings of Samantha Hearn's mind on all things around the numbers in your business, but hopefully it's given you 5 key points and areas to really start looking at in how you can start to shift your focus when it looks at numbers, whether it's from an engagement perspective, whether it's from a pricing perspective, whether it's from a forecasting perspective, whether it's from a launch perspective, whether it's from a growth perspective. All of these angles, hopefully you've got some different ways to start looking at it. From understanding that we need the bigger picture, understanding that you need to think about one person at a time, understanding that we need to really look at how this fits into your business model, understanding that momentum is a key feature in being able to create this longevity in your sales and in your marketing, and understanding that, I haven't shared this, but everyone is always watching what you do, whether they like or comment or not. They are seeing what you're doing. They might not see it right now when you post, but they could see it in 2 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time, 10 weeks' time. People are always there to be impacted. And if you focus on the impact you can have, the likes and all of those things, I don't want that to deter you. I really don't, because you have a message and you have something to be sharing with the world. But it's just about refocusing how you start to implement these things, like your numbers, from a real tangible perspective for you, your business, and your future goals. So I'd love to invite any questions on this, because this is, it is a really big topic. But if you have questions around things like how do you show up and not worry about, the engagement and the algorithm, versus how do you start planning for your financial success without looking just at the big end goal, please just share it in the comments. I'm an open book and I'd love to support you with this. Maybe do some more live trainings on it over on Instagram, have some more free support, create a free masterclass, whatever you need, you just let me know. So hopefully this is just a bit of a starting point for this conversation. Numbers mean nothing if we don't have the context and we don't think about the real meaning behind it and have the backstory. So I will see you very shortly in some more content, more amazing things on social media, videos, everything. But if you do want to find out more about the Success School and that 12-week program split into 3 phases, the links will be attached to this video, as well as things like the Finance and Wealth School to support you with your financial intelligence and understanding how you can create that financial legacy in your business, and some other amazing juicy things too. So I'll see you in the links. I'll see you back here soon. And I do hope this has helped just as a starting point for this epic conversation. I'll see you soon.